felt like you're repeating yourself, you will feel it. And guess what? When that happens and you start feeling, I'm repeating myself over and over, then you're like, is there nothing else to say? Now, there is when you change that, that is how you start falling. That is when you start failing. But when you get bored enough to get used to it, get comfortable by being uncomfortable, that is when things start working, because now you're comfortable with being uncomfortable. Oh my goodness, right? So when you start repeating, when you feel like I'm just saying the same thing, you develop this skill, you communicate, and because it is not so much different, you become a perfection. So it gets to a point where you're not really having to prepare so much. You're giving a thought into it, but you're not preparing like somebody who is an amateur, someone who is beginning. All right, but at the beginning stages, you have to put in the work. It is like an aeroplane. An aeroplane on the runway, it consumes the most amount of fuel, takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy just to take off. So be willing to do extraordinary amount of work for you to take off. And that is why we say getting your first sale is the hardest. Right? If you haven't gotten the first sale, it's really the hardest because you are on the runway. You're on the runway, my friend. You are taking off. The moment you take off, it starts coming on autopilot. It starts coming on autopilot. Yesterday, I was on a live. I'm teaching copy-paste and 900 ding comes in. It is happening autopilot. I'm away from it. But here I'm actually teaching other people and it is happening because the plane has taken off. But before it takes off, there is a lot of effort needs to be. There's a lot of friction, a lot of grinding, a lot of struggle. So let me ask you, when the plane realizes that this is too much hard work, it is becoming tougher and tougher and tougher, what if it decides to stop? That means there'll be no flight, there'll be no delay, and so many bad things could happen. So the moment you take off, it is called point of no return. If you listen to Maron Golden last week, he taught us about a point of no return. That means you cannot go back. So today, I want to teach about call to actions. Okay? After learning about the hook and the story, then the final thing and the last part is call to action. Call to action is the last statement you say. You cannot, it is, I think this comes from the Bible. By the way, this is biblical. Okay? I have seen that the content clearly is actually biblical. Maybe I have become so much of Maron Golden, but it is actually biblical because in Matthew, the Bible says, knock and it shall be open, isn't it? So, when knock and it shall be open. See, that's the Bible that says like that, isn't it? So even you have to knock on doors of your prospects. Knock on their doors. So how do you knock? You start off with a hook. This is knocking. All right? Then you tell the story. You're still knocking. You are persistent. And then you end up with a CTA. A CTA is a short. Okay? Write this down. A CTA is a short statement that you add, okay, at the end of your content, asking them, remember this is the thing, asking the audience or the viewer to do something. Number one, it's a must. You have to knock. Is that clear? So what you are doing here, you're not asking them to buy. All right? Yes, you are actually doing digital marketing business, but you're not asking your people to buy. You're not telling them, now that I have told you that, buy this program that I'm actually, no, it doesn't work like that. But what you are doing is that you're giving them an opportunity. Remember, this is probably 40 seconds to 1 minute or maybe about that. So you cannot tell me that I'll listen to you for 1 minute and then I'm ready to buy. It doesn't happen. As a matter of fact, it has been proven that someone to buy, let me tell you this psychologically, they have to listen to you for 7 hours. 7 to 12 hours for them to decide whether they are going to do it to you. So it means that 40 seconds. How many 1 minutes are there in 7 hours? How many 1 minutes are there in 7 hours? Let's say you create 1 minute content. Someone has to listen to 400, let me see, 7 hours is 7 times 60, 420 for them to, and they're not hearing the same, they have to keep hearing it for 7 hours. 7 hours. What does that mean? It is important for you, even if they are not listening directly to you, but they have to be engaged. That's why there is Michelle's webinar. That is why there is Michelle's video on your website. There is more information there. So at least it has to average to 7 hours for someone to say, yes, now I'm okay. So when you see people saying interested on your comment, they're not saying I'm interested to buy. They're saying I'm interested to hear more. And that is why I even do webinars. Like today I have a webinar. And it is good to mention, I've changed my webinars from Friday to Thursday. I'm going to be doing them on Thursday because it's becoming very tasking. Do a physical on Friday and do a webinar in the evening. All right. So I'm doing physical. I'm doing a webinar on Thursday. What am I doing? I know it is 7 hours, so it means I have to give them, and that webinar is 1 hour or 1 hour and a few minutes. So I need them to hear to come live, watch replay, come to the next week and the next week and maybe a whole month when they are ready. You see, I'm not looking at the get rich quick. I'm actually looking at the long game. I'm looking at a far distance. I can see it coming from very far. It's not now, from a very far distance. You see that mindset of longevity. I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait. That is where true success is found. So let's come back to the call to action. So a call to action is a short statement that you add at the end of your content and asking the viewer to do something. So what can you ask them to do? You can ask them to follow or more. It is a one statement, it's actually a very short statement. You can ask them to follow, you can ask them to comment. Okay, you can ask them to do what? You can ask them to follow, to comment, to tag someone. Anything you, as long as it's a verb, it's something that they're supposed to do. They have listened from the hook and the story. Now you're asking them to do what? Do something to express interest. It's like you're telling them, raise up your hand if you would like to work with me and we do this even more practically. Raise up your hand if you want to see this in action. Raise up your hand, raise up your hand. And then they raise up their hand by showing you, by doing something. There must be a small sign of interest. There must be a small sign of interest that is expressed. So when you share the message, the right one, of course, so that somebody is interested with the right thing, then you ask them, raise up your hand, raise up your hand. You do that in the call to action section. So, you know, by the way, that is all in the call to action part. It's actually it. So I do have a list of call to actions. You don't use so many. Finally, you realize that if you just use one, it works in all of your contents. So just using one statement at the end, follow this page. I wouldn't say they follow. I would say something more that would actually, because a call to action is very important. Benefit number one, if you ask for the right call to action, it boosts the viewership of your content. It makes the platform to really think that it confuses the system and tells them people are loving this. That is why they are commenting. So that is why, that is what happens. So there is a lot of attention is driven to it and it is pushed out to many people. You see that secret? It is pushed out to many people because you are already doing the work that's supposed to be done by adding a call to action. Why? Because I told you, we may not have very entertaining content in digital marketing. Rarely will you find very entertaining content. So it is not very entertaining. It is more of educational. And people, when they go to social media, they are going for two reasons only: to be entertained and to be educated. And therefore, when you educate, you have to add a call to action asking the viewer to do something at the end. Make sure you ask that. Guess what happens? It is going, first of all, to eliminate trolls. Trolls are those who come to comment negative things. Because you are the authority, you have said, comment this. That discourages anybody else to come and comment what they think. That is number one. So if you go to entertaining content, you'll find all sorts of funny comments. Those ones cannot serve you at all. Okay? So if you leave the comment section to be everybody can comment what they want, then that is not going to serve you in any good way. That is why a call to action asking for a comment is very important, because you have clearly said what is going to happen. You have clearly said, this is my goal. This is what I want to get out of this. Knock and it shall be opened. So when you knock, it gets what? it gets opened. That is the secret, all right? So they open. When someone comments, they have actually expressed their interest from their heart. I would like to learn more. And that is a door that has been opened, and 2 doors, and 5 doors, and 10, and 15, like that. So that is truly, truly the thing that I want you guys to understand. So I want to share this the list of call to actions that you can be using left, right, and center. They are awesome. The whole idea, I really don't intend you to use all of them. I don't use all of them either. But guess what? You can only tell the one that works after using a couple of them, and then you can find the one that is doing what? That is doing well. And I believe that is the whole important thing. So let me share this. I'm going to drop a link. It's called call to action. Call to action, yeah. Call to action, yeah, there we go. So I have got, yeah, there are many. They have been quite a number. So if you go to the chat, click on the link I'm dropping in the chat section to see the call to actions. All right. So it's a Google document that has got a list of many call to actions. You can keep using them until you find the one that does what? That works. So click on it so that you can be able to save that one. You can be using it over and over. So that is going to mark the end of our lesson. In terms of the whole of this week, we have been looking at content hacking. Next week, now we are looking at your content. And then you want to see what have you been doing right and where would you like improvement, right? And the last day like this one, I would like you guys to look at mine. And I want you to hear your feedback because your opinion is valid. And I would like to hear from you, right? From you, because again, when I get feedback from you guys, I'm able to grow because already you have already joined the program. You're my customer, and that means there is what you liked. It is that what you liked, I want to amplify, and what you don't like, I want to remove it completely. And that is basically what I've realized is working. So, but the first 3 days, I'm going to be looking into you as into your accounts. What have you been doing? What have you been doing? All right. We look at consistency. Have you been consistent? Where did you drop? What happened? Don't feel guilty. It's very human. It's very human to lack consistency. It's totally normal. Only that you should be aware of it. The thing is, be aware that I am inconsistent. Be aware. Because when you know a problem, you can solve it. But you cannot solve a problem you don't know. So, you see, I am suffering from inconsistency. I remember a part in my life where I knew for sure my problem is lack of consistency. It is nothing else. It is because I'm not consistent. And I knew, now if I can fix that, I would be good. So I started fixing it. It's not easy. I promise you. To develop that level of discipline, it's not easy. I met with a lady and she told me, Sam, if there is one thing I admire from you, it's because you are so disciplined and you're so consistent. And I was like, if only you know. If only you know the amount of challenges and struggle I have to convince myself and make sure that I'm doing it every day. It's not easy, but it is because I'm aware. You see, that is the thing. Be aware of the problem. I knew I wasn't, so I became, and I wanted to be. So I stopped wanting. I stopped wishing. And I remember one time I could set an alarm on my phone that could ring throughout the day. After every 3 hours or 4 hours, it's like, wake up. You know, I have to be reminded because I'm a limited human being. And therefore, I have to put factors around me that put me on toes. If I don't do that, I will lose track. You see, so I knew my problem and I knew this is how I'm going to solve it. And I solved it and it worked. Right now, I don't struggle as much with consistency as I used to. But yeah, if you get that phase, you can struggle and it is normal. It's not your fault. Be aware that this problem exists and I want to solve it. That's how great people become great. It's because they know the problem. They don't wish they could become. They are like, instead of saying, I wish I can be Coach Sam. No, you cannot be. But you can ask yourself, I know my problem that is stopping me from growing is because I am not consistent. That is much better than wishing you could be somebody else, right? I'll be like, my biggest problem, I can get here, but my biggest problem, I'm not patient. Now you are aware you're not patient. Work on that. Okay? My biggest problem right now is because I don't enjoy reading or running the modules. Now you are aware of the problem. What do? You just start. Anything can be changed. You can change yourself to anything. You You can conform to any type of anything. You can conform any direction you want. Just be aware that that is the challenge that you have. So I've dropped it in the charts. Make sure that you click on the link of the charts. I've dropped it there. Now, I want to share with you this cool video that I saw here, just so we discuss it, because I remember last week we also had a visitor who came and he was talking to us about what do you call it? Digital marketing, taxation, and how taxation works. And I love this guy because he was so open and he was so like he shared his story, like the way he was just telling us what happens and what does that happen. And then Justina, thank you so much in advance for this. This is you found this and you're wondering, like, what if you use M-Pesa till number, M-Pesa pay bill, PayPal already, like running ads? For example, even on TikTok, there is this clause that there is a tax deducted on every TikTok ad that you run or you promote. You know, when you promote content or when you run ads on Facebook, you know, when you do those things, you find that there is that clause that is becoming difficult. There is that, and therefore there was this one that was launched. This is active since October 2024. That is when this was active. Let's listen to it and we can go to borrow a leaf or two, and then we can discuss it and then we can see the way forward. Let's see.
Every payment to your pay bill or your till number when you're in business is considered to be an ETR. And if you use the Safaricom app, after you've paid someone on till, you can see there's a button down there, there's a tab there that says download ETR. So that's actually considered an ETR. What's an ETR? It's an electronically transmitted receipt in real time, meaning the moment you've received it on your pay bill, KRA has received it on their side. Wow. So you can be seated in your beautiful, cozy little apartment doing your own business. Yes. But if you have till or pay bill already, you just know because your pay bill or your till is registered under your name, which is linked to your ID number. Your ID number is linked to your KRA PIN. Oh, yes. And that's it. All your tax records are in the open. Wow. And that was effective October 2024. I'm so amazed at how many people do not know this. Yeah. Which is part of why I create all this content and I put it out there to educate the public. Because people get caught because of this lack of knowledge. That is true. The other one that they're now pursuing is now that one for the banking system. Now, if they access that, if the finance bill passes as it is without any alterations to that particular clause, that will mean your bank can be accessed at any time. Wow. Data protection out the window. Yes.
All right. So yeah, there we go. It's about mobile payments, right? Mobile payments. And because we're in business, it's good to be aware of that. They have not yet done that for the banks, but they have already done it for the M-Pesa. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, of course, even the banks are going to be caught. So be aware. I don't know how, I have no answer yet how to do this, but I'm just thinking, filing the returns is the thing. Like, make sure that you do it so that you never find your problems or yourself in a problem. Just file. It is mandatory for every Kenyan, everyone who is 18 and above. It is mandatory. Is it 18 or 21? But it is mandatory for you to file the returns. Or anybody with an ID, I believe that is the... But anyway, I don't know. Mr. Wanga, what do you think about that? You are our expert in that area in this community for now. And we appreciate that.
Let me open up. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Coach. Yes, it is true what you are saying. That is the point. Returns. And of course, since you are doing a business, it's also very important to make sure you maintain your receipts for your expenses. Make sure you also maintain the receipts of your expenses. And even like now, I know some people avoid, like when they are fueling their vehicles, if you have a PIN and you're in this business, make sure even those receipts for the ETRs, you have them. Because at the end of the day, what will happen is that when you are doing your returns, is a question of balancing your income against your expenses. And whatever remains is what is taxed. So, as we continue, it is important to keep a track of your income and keep a track of your expenses as well. So for everybody who is on maybe on this Zoom, and the ones that are maybe make sure that if you're using a pay bill or your income or using a till number, make sure you keep a track of all the payments that you have received. And of course, the government has already received a notification of that money. So that you cannot go back and say that you have not received any income or you have got no income. The only thing you can do, because it is actually given against your name, against your ID, as you have been advised, and it has been given because of a business that you are doing. You don't get a TIN number because you are employed. You get a TIN number because you are doing business. So you are doing that business. You keep track of whatever amounts of that you are earning. And of course, remember, because it's a business, there is a graduation that we discussed last time, that the taxation graduation that we discussed. So make sure, because it's a business, it has expenses. Keep track of those expenses. Don't lose them. If you're running like now ourselves, we have to make sure we keep track of our expenses that involve the business. Those things, like some you like buying books, make sure you get a receipt for the books because they are part of the expenses. When you are using the ring lights, you are using the microphones, you are using the tripods and all those things that you are purchasing to do the business, make sure you have the receipts for those things. Keep them. Let them be the business expenses that you deduct. So whatever amount of money you have earned, make sure you deduct. Like for you, Samuel, because you have even a physical class, make sure even those receipts for the room that you are using, make sure you have a file for all those expenses. They'll help you to balance out how much you pay at the end of the year in terms of taxation. So, and it's all, as we have said, and as the video says, it is very important for us to be on toes, because when it comes to government, actually people pay more out of ignorance than out of taxation. For example, if you do not file, failure to file by 30th of June, it attracts a penalty of 2,000 automatically. Failure to file VAT on time, automatically it attracts a penalty of 10,000. Failure to file other, just on the deadline, if you fail to file on that date, it attracts a penalty. And that penalty you have to pay it before they even consider how much taxation you're supposed to pay. So you first pay the penalty of 2,000, and then when you do your calculations, they see whether it is taxable. If it is not, fine. If it is, you pay the tax. So people have seen people pay because maybe for the last 10 years, or because we started doing the online taxation filing in 2015. From 2015, somebody had a PIN and you have never filed. So today, if we do the filing from 2015 to date, that's about how many years? 10 years? It will be about 9 years. You will pay 18,000 as penalties for failure to do the return. And maybe you have not earned anything over those years, or whatever you have been earning is not taxable. So you pay the 18,000 because of failing. And most of the people fail to file because of ignorance. But here, people should remember, ignorance is no defense. You cannot say you did not know. And you cannot say you are a student. So students don't earn. Even if you are a student, as long as you have gotten your fee, the day you get your fee, you start that day to file. 1 year later, or the following year, actually not 1 year later, because even if you picked your fee in October, let's say for example, October 2024, you're supposed to do your filing for the 3 months, October, November, and December. You're supposed to do those returns before June of this year. So people should make sure at least they are on the safe side. And because now we are running a business, they should even be more careful. Because if you don't, what will happen, especially if you don't even keep a track of your expenses, whatever you earn, they will charge it at 30% or a crazy figure like that one. Because that's they'll assume you have got too much money, so they will charge you at 30%. And those ones who get maybe the ones who are employed and they have a payslip and they have
We lost you. I don't know. But we get it. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean this people suffer because of lack of knowledge. So it's good to be aware of what is happening. I'm also very new into this. But I used to do it, but I don't know how we just had somebody who used to file when I was a teacher. Somebody just used to do the work. You know, it was being done by somebody. I wasn't really actively involved. But yeah, it is very important to be informed and be aware. Continue. Karibu Stana. Karibu.
sorry. I think there is a problem with my net. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I was saying. I was saying it is very important for you to make sure you do those things. Otherwise, if you ever get yourself involved with a taxman, later the kind of tax they will ask you for not filing. No, it's better you argue with the taxman about the figures, whether you filed more or you filed less, but you filed or you declared. You will argue with him about what you declared, but let you not argue for not doing it, because that is where the penalties are, and they are major penalties, and you see the penalties also attract interest on penalties. So those ones are the ones that actually finish. That's why that's what even they get amnesty for the penalties, because the penalties they can actually kill in the business, and the penalties come because of not doing or because of ignorance. So I hope all of us are aware of that, and they get aware and they do what is necessary. Especially these ones we are doing business, because our business is registered as sole proprietorship. We are supposed to do our returns by June. So we have today being the 15th, we have 45 days to make sure we have compiled our tax returns properly. Asante kwa wote. I think let me stop.
Thank you. So there we go. We are informed. Asante sana Bwana Wanganga. We appreciate that. So 45 days to go. Just make sure that you are clean. You don't want issues with the government. Yeah, let's just give it the seriousness it deserves. Yeah, so we don't get ourselves into problem. Yeah. All right. Okay. I think that is it. Thank you so much. Be blessed, guys. Again, you are welcome to join us for a physical workshop. If you go through this and you're like, maybe I would want to fix a few things here and there, I've said that the doors for my physical workshop is open for inner circle members. We start at 9 a.m. We end around 4 p.m. And then you are okay. You're welcome to come in. If you have got a specific problem, we can solve it there in person. If you have got a client who can maybe understand better, you can always have their contact, have everything, send them over, and then I'll take them through. Once they are ready, then I'll send them back to you, because now they are informed, and I'll tell them, hey, go back to your mentor now. For me, I was just to teach you. And if I can close it for you, see, that is a win-win. I would love to have done it before for members inside here of this inner circle. I'll continue doing that. So if you have got clients or someone who is interested, you don't know what to tell them because you have not mastered yet, your coach is here for that purpose and for that reason. And with those few remarks, thank you so much. Be blessed. I'll see you on Monday for the next coaching session. Be blessed. Yes, Panawanga, you are mute. You are mute. We can't hear you. Anything?
for now. Wow, wonderful. I was not saying goodbye.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye, guys.